Why would you come and make your fortune here in South Africa?
Here,
so why don't you go
instead
home?
of mining
May
land?
I ask you that?
I came to South Africa because of the opportunity it offered me in the marketing space. So I did not leave Zimbabwe because of the fact that Zimbabwe was not good. Number two,
but
a lot of
millions that are here.
Number two, there are a lot of people that are in South Africa that have run
opportunities.
away from land to come waiters in South Africa. They've run away from mining gold, platinum, diamonds, and resources to come to South Africa because they'd rather prefer to be given a job by somebody else, to use their CV rather than to take over the land, take the resources, and use those resources to become rich the way that it has made the Rhodesians rich.
Why don't they? I mean, if that's what you're saying, they're running away from those wonderful opportunities. Why don't they take up the opportunity? In fact, why don't you take up the opportunity? Why would you come and make your fortune here in South Africa when, as you've described it, you could be making a fortune in Zimbabwe? Why are you here?
Because I'm part of the problem in Zimbabwe. My attitude of thinking that I had to come and take up the opportunity that was offered to me here
So why don't you go
instead
home?
of mining
May
land.
I ask you that? Why do you not
I am
go
going
home?
home. But
Are
right
you?
now, I've also got family in South Africa. I've got South African children, and those South African children don't just allow me to just stand up and leave, but I do have projects that I'm taking part in Zimbabwe because I've learned that those resources are the most important thing.
If you have such faith in your country, in Zimbabwe, I would say and I would think you would get up and you would take your family and you would go and fix up the future of Zimbabwe. If you're saying there's land, if you're saying there's minerals, if you're saying there is so much wealth and opportunities for you there, you're living a contradiction.
No, I'm not living a contradiction.
You certainly are by sitting here. You're living a
ask you that
contradiction.
why,
because people are suffering in Zimbabwe.
so why are
but
people
you're
not,
languishing
why
here.
are people not going to the Netherlands? Why are Germans not going back to Germany? Is it because their countries are bad? Is it because they're running away from problems in the UK or in the States? Why aren't Europeans going? What are you doing here?
I live here. This is my home. I'm not running away
But
from it.
why are you living here instead
There's
of Europe?
great
Why did your
opportunities and I
great-grandparents
love
come
this
here instead
country.
of Europe?
We're not talking about grandparents. We're talking about me.
No,
We're talking about
you've
you.
made it sound like a Zimbabwean needs to go back to Zimbabwe to show that Zimbabwe is working. So why are Europeans not going back to Europe? Why are Asians not going back to Asia? Why are they staying in South Africa?
The context of the conversation is that you're saying that Zimbabwe is a beautiful country with great opportunities and people have run away from there to become waiters. The context is you are living here in South Africa when you could be going back and making that country work. That's the
But you
context.
also forgot that I was asked to come here. Somebody thought my skills were important here.
I've been asked to go to other countries, but I believe in this country. And I refuse
But
to
why
go.
don't you believe in Europe?
No, I believe in South Africa.
Why don't you believe in Europe?
I believe in my country.
Why don't you believe in Europe?
This is not about me and you. This is about Zimbabwe.
But your question has to apply to you as well, though.
Is he saying the 5 million, 6 million Zimbabweans here were also asked to come here, like he was asked to come here? No, they were not asked. They jumped the borders out of desperation. They are here to make a living because their country has nothing to offer for them. Zimbabwe stands now as a destroyed country. All hope is lost in Zimbabwe. It doesn't help that the man who succeeded Mr. Mugabe is not doing any better. You saw when Mr. Mugabe was ousted in the military coup, the thousands and thousands of Zimbabweans who thronged the streets in celebration, who held hope that at least Mr. Mnangagwa was going to do things differently.
Yeah.
It's said that he is following in the footsteps of his former boss, and there hasn't been much change. But Zimbabwe is now a desperate, destroyed country. We cannot defend the indefensible.
Yeah. Very, very quickly, I mean, we've run out of time. I ask you in 30 seconds, just Mbeki says Mugabe's dream was to see other oppressed African countries free. Which is, of course, why he supported the ANC in its liberation struggle. Is that a fair comment?
Well, it's a fair comment that Mugabe spoke for Africa's liberation. But that's not the issue. The issue is Mugabe's record in leading his own people. He destroyed the country. Zimbabwe is now completely a hopeless state to live in. I've been in Zimbabwe. The life there is so difficult. So difficult. Why? Because of Mugabe's bad policies, because of Mugabe's bad governance. So let's not mix issues here. Yes, he might have supported the ANC. So what? Many other people supported the ANC.
Okay. We have to leave it there, unfortunately. I'm sure you want to have a closing word.
Yes, absolutely.
And in 10 seconds, very quickly, please.
Absolutely. Yes, Zimbabwe has got its benefits, but we also have to acknowledge that it's at war. The entire Western world, a superpower nation, has imposed sanctions on Zimbabwe. And the fact that Basildon doesn't talk about it, I find it very interesting and very weird.
But the sanctions have been imposed because of what? The bad things that these people are doing.
Where do you get that from?
Where do you shoot your people?
Where do you get that from?
Demonstrate and you deploy soldiers to shoot them.
All right.
Surely the civilized
Where
world
do you get that from? Where do you get that from? When did the sanctions come in? When did the sanctions come in, and when did the people get shot?
The sanctions were imposed
All right, this has been quite a fiery episode of Morning Live here. What a way to end off a Friday. They can continue having their conversation. We unfortunately have to say goodbye to you.